Let me know when everyone can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, thanks. So, yesterday we have discussed on the basics of AWS, what are the services and how we can access the services, how we can open our account and work on that one. So today specifically, and actually there are lots of components. I mean, more than hundreds. It's almost nearly thousands components are there in AWS. But I mean, all the components are not being used. It's based on the project requirement and their budget. And of course, the particular architect knows that particular product. They're, I mean, up to date with the AWS components, daily basis, they are launching the thing. So based on the experience, they're using the product. They can ask the developer to spin up that particular product. I mean, it's everything on the planning and how they are designing the architecture of that particular pipeline for AWS and all. Okay. So today we just going to cover few of the components, the most important and most useful components over there. So in each of the project, if the project is using AWS, then this product must be there. So today we're going to cover EC2, S3, and especially as we do not have the console access, if we have that, then we can have a quick hands-on activity on how to deploy a particular EC2 server, and we can open the EC2 server from our local machine. So that thing I wish to continue, but as we do not have a login credential, so we cannot go ahead that way. But I have prepared the PPT with the screenshots, how that can be done. So you can go ahead these things easily. If you have any credentials, you can work with, or maybe in the next session, we can arrange one. We can, I was discussing with Lohit so that we have one credential or free tier account, so that in this kind of training session, we can have a quick hands-on to prepare a server or to create a database just like this. Okay. So let's go ahead with starting the session with EC2. EC2, it's a Elastic Compute Cloud. The full form is, the full form of EC2. There is two C's present there, compute cloud. That's why it's EC2. And the first session I talked about what is IaaS, SaaS. So EC2 is a IaaS, that is infrastructure as a service. So we can buy the EC2, we can rent the EC2 from the AWS. Okay. So it's an infrastructure because we are just taking the server. We do not have to maintain the server. If any antivirus is required on to be installed, that can be maintained by AWS. If any patching activity for the OS needs to be installed, that should be done by AWS only. But if we need to install a software on top, on inside that EC2 server, that is totally dependent on us. So over here, if we are using the EC2 from the AWS, then we are using the cloud as an infrastructure as a service. Okay. So this is the thing on the first day I was discussing on that one. So I'll be just trying to start the EC2, and it's an infrastructure as a service. So what are the capabilities and how we can work on top of EC2? So it's just like renting a virtual machine. So virtual machine, if we just want to have a server, suppose I'm a software developer, okay, and I have a laptop. I purchased a laptop from the market. It's a fixed configuration, 8 GB RAM, 500 GB SSD hard disk. So whatever software is available for data, just like Tableau, Talent is a ETL tool, Tableau is a visualization tool. Those are fine as of now. But after few years later, 2-3 years later, Tableau is getting heavier. Now the requirement for Tableau to be installed is 16 GB RAM. Then again, I have to go to market for extending my RAM or buying a new laptop with having a high configuration. So whatever I have bought earlier, the existing laptop, there will be no value on that one. After 3 years, the performance is fine for that laptop, but this is not in use because half of my software will not be working. So that time what we can do, we can open our virtual desktop, which I have rented from AWS, I can rent it or I can quickly expand the RAM, or I can terminate the existing EC2 and I can spin up a new EC2 server with having high configuration. So whatever I have rented earlier, that I can easily sell there. So this kind of stuffs. So this particular AWS EC2 server, we can use it as on-demand basis. When I require, I can on the product. When I do not require, I can terminate the thing. So I can pay money only for that computing time. Whenever I'm working on that one, whenever the server is on. Okay. So that's the helpful, that the assistance we can take it from AWS side. We do not have to purchase any laptop. If we have an AWS account, we can quickly spin up the server and we can run the thing. But it's not for AWS actually. If anyone is having experience for Azure, then they have the other options. I mean, there is also virtual desktop available. If you are using Google Cloud, there is also the same thing. Over here, we are just going ahead with AWS as the course material. That's why I'm going through only this product. Okay. So what are the capabilities? Renting virtual machines, that is EC2. Storing data on virtual drives, EVS. Virtual drives means those are the hard disk. Whatever we can see in our local laptop, we can see the drives are there, C drive, D drive. Those are the EVS, storing data. So if we are launching in EC2, we can add EVS over there, any memory. Okay. So we want to, for EVS, we have to separately pay for it. So first of all, we can launch the EC2, then we can tag multiple EVS. So I need another software to install another drive. I need, so then I can add one EVS with 50 GB or 100 GB. So hard disk we can add anytime. Distributing load across machine. So we can distribute the load. If we have multiple EC2 instances, we can distribute the load between them. Scaling the service using auto scaling group. We can scale the service. Scales means scaling up, scaling down. Can increase the EVS volume, just like I told. So this kind of things we can do. The scalability is the main thing for the AWS or maybe any cloud computing thing. So it is applicable for all the components of the cloud computing. Scaling. Okay, till now any doubt for anyone? Hopefully no. Okay, going to the next slide. Okay, let me quickly go through that link. What are the different instance types? So this is very much important. So if you are a developer or if you have the position that you need to choose a particular EC2 server with cost effectiveness, so you can quickly check it. Let me quickly show you. Paste it over here. So, okay. So one more thing, if you need any kind of documentation, the documentation for AWS is very good in the web portal. So just aws.amazon.com. You can just go ahead, with all the materials, that link. Okay. It's been available. So, if we just classified the EC2, there are these 6 kind of EC2. The first one is for general purpose, compute optimized, memory optimized. As per the naming convention, we can get what is its means for. General purpose is for our general purpose. Suppose I'm just using for anything for my home purpose. I need to install any game and I'll be playing the thing at the virtual server. I can use that thing. Compute optimized, which uses less compute. It should be quickly compute. The computational power will be very less for that one. That is why compute optimized. Memory optimized. Accelerated computing, storage optimized, HPC optimized. I haven't used all of them. Generally I have used general purpose compute optimized, but it's basically whatever as per the project requirement you can choose the thing. And each of the, well, let me quickly show you. General purpose, there are this kind of series: AM16, Mac, T4G, T3, T3A, T2. So if you just click on any of the series, then you can find the series. I mean, total number of available machines. Suppose I am going to T2. T2 is a very popular one. It's also been used in a commercial one. I mean, a commercial way in our application specific as well. Just like T2 Micro. I have used this thing a lot of time. I'm inside T2 series. If I'm just scrolling it down, all the specification, okay, what processor it's been using, the clock speed, everything is present there. Then inside the series, what are the instances available? You can see quickly. So just like starting with T2 nano, micro, small, medium, large. So I have used this kind of stuffs a lot of time. With one CPU, memory 1 GB, just for simple purpose of any small applications or anything, I have used the T2 micro. So, I mean, for the higher software installation and anything, just like Tableau or anything, we can use the T2 large or T2X large. This is fine. Okay. So everything is there. You can check what is the specification, as well as you can also check the pricing calculator, and you can launch whatever you require. Okay. The launching part I'll be coming quickly. I'm going to another one, compute optimized. It's at the below. Those are the series available for compute optimized, starting with C. So I'm opening any one. So you can see what are the things available. I mean, the parameters. Okay. And the same thing, it's not starting with one CPU. It's very high configuration is there as well. It's commercial purpose or any other thing, not for home purpose specifically. No one will be using 128 GB RAM. So maybe whoever using high graphics or some other commercial, I mean, preparing any movie, film, or any graphics related operation, they are using this kind of stuff, I'm assuming. So this kind of stuff you can also use your home purpose as well as your project purpose. Likewise, I mean, we have everything present over here. You can check it. So hopefully that is a good material. You can also check from your side, and you can also check the pricing calculator as well. Earlier, I used to see another column called pricing. So per hour, it should be showing you the price. It is also available inside the AWS console itself while choosing that particular instance, but it should be available over here as well. I checked it earlier, maybe in a different portal, but this is a normal way to select your EC2 instances. Okay, now I'm going to the slide. Okay, now it's time to launch a EC2. As we do not have a console access, I just prepared the screenshots from our portal, and I just sequentially I'll be presenting the same thing in front of you, so that if you have a credential, or if you are just going to have a credential, then you can quickly build the EC2 and you can delete it as well. So if you can remember yesterday's session, we are logging into console, and in the search option, in the search bar, is a search bar, we can type EC2 and press enter. If we can press enter, then all the things related to EC2, it will be showing in the page. So in this page, in the resources, you can see instances running 0. So we do not have any EC2 spin up till now for that particular account. Okay. So that's why we need to create a new one over here. So here is the option highlighted as yellow, instances new, at the left hand side. So just click on there. If you're clicking on there, that should be our next page. So there is no instances available. If any instances was available, then it should be presented. I mean, it should be there in this location. It is showing that no instances. You do not have any instances. So at the end, we can also show this page again. Then you can see one instance is getting generated. So this is the thing. I'm clicking on launch instances. Then it should be asking for me the parameter. So first of all, this is the name. What should be the name of the server? I have to put the thing over here. Then I'm scrolling it down. After scrolling it down, it should be asking for me what particular operating system I require. Okay. Linux, Ubuntu, Windows, Red Hat. So this kind of stuff. So I chose AWS Linux. Then it will be showing what are the system specification or instance types available in the below box. Okay. So there is a drop down option. We can change the thing. Just like this is the thing, Amazon Linux 2 AMI, Linux 2 AMI kernel, the different kernel is there, and SSD volume. I mean, what is the volume type? So you can choose a proper one. So that's why you can take. I was showing that particular specification, just like T2 micro, this kind of stuffs. So this is the same thing over here. Actually, this is the AMI. Sorry, this is the AMI. You just need to choose the AMI first. Then you need to choose. You need to choose that particular instance type at the latter section. I'll be just coming that point again. This is the instance type now. What kind of instance type you need to choose? Whether it's T2 micro, they're choosing T2 micro over here. And then at the drop down, you can also see we can choose various things from here as well. Okay. And this is the key value pair. I mean, you need to choose or set up the credentials by this key pair name. So there may be different kind of, login format. So you can use RSA. If you are using RSA, then there are two kind of things. PPK file. PPK file is it's a normal file. If you are aware of .ppk file, actually we can log in through PuTTY using that authentication. It's the authentication method. Maybe in the next session when I have the hands-on thing, can show you how we can connect with the PPK or .pem, those kind of stuff. So this is the authentication method, how we can log in from the from our local system, how we can log in to this Linux server. Okay. So those are all network related stuffs. What kind of VPC I need to tag with, particular which IP needs to be tagged over here as well. So we can tag the thing by this network setting. Okay. And this is the last thing I am assuming. So we need to tag what kind of EBS volume. They are adding 8 GB. It's a GP2 one. So we need to add the same thing. We can add the thing based on, the drop down is there. We can check what are the available things are there so that we can quickly tag the thing. So I'm just adding the hard disks, you can say, configure storage. Okay, so this is the advanced search as well. 8 GB, volume type is GP2, this kind of stuffs. Okay, the next thing is IAM. IAM means access and management. I can control the same thing if I'm an admin person or root user. I can also control the thing who can access that particular server. So I can create a group and tag the particular IAM over there, and I can control whoever can access to that particular EC2 server. Okay, now I just click on the launch or final submission on that particular EC2 creation. And in the very next page, I am checking again putting EC2 and entering it, and I can see our new instance has been generated. Okay, so it should take some time for this state to be running status. Currently, at first, for half an hour or just like this, not half an hour exactly, 10 to 15 minutes, it will be showing pending status. After some time, if you can refresh the page, it will be just showing running status. When it's running status, then you can try to connect the same Linux server by if you have PuTTY or any other software to connect with Ubuntu or Linux server, then you can quickly try to connect the server from your own by the authentication thing. Maybe it's PEM file or PPK file or simple login password is there. Then you can try to connect that particular instance from your own. Okay. And you can choose that particular server and you can do whatever action you can do over here. Just like you can, I mean, rightly, I mean, if you can check the action item over there, you can see rebooting option is there. So you can reboot that particular server from this portal itself. No need to open the server by your machine. So this kind of stuffs you can do. On not only reboot, terminate option is there, restart or reboot is something. So you can stop the instance, you can start the instance by just selecting the thing over here and right click, I mean, click on actions. And you can do that particular steps. And in the below section, whatever details or parameter you have put to spin up that server, you can check the things. Details is there, security, networking, storage, monitoring, everything is there. I mean, for any kind of details, you can just go ahead with that particular tabs. Okay. So this is the entire thing. I think you have some idea for EC2 launching the thing. First time if you're launching the EC2, then that kind of things is very much helpful. Till now, any doubt? How to spin up the things, the parameterized, I mean, what parameter we need to pass to create a EC2? I'm assuming in the next session, if we are having any credential, then that should be more interactive one. But whatever I have tried to prepare, it's the screenshots. And those screenshots are, I mean, sequentially been provided over here so that you can also have the idea how to initiate a server preparation. Okay. So that's all related to EC2. I'm just going to the next topic, that is S3. Okay. So after EC2, we can see this is one of the most popular topic, S3 bucket. Just like in Azure, we have Azure Blob Storage. In Google Cloud, I do not know the actual name that resembles the S3 bucket, but this is kind of a large storage device with having very low cost. So this is called the S3 bucket. So it's one of the main building blocks for AWS, and it is having infinitely scaling storage. I mean, large bucket I can order from. I mean, I can take rent from AWS, and it's having very low cost. Suppose I am purchasing a server with having a larger value of EBS. The EBS cost is much more than that of that S3 bucket. So if I'm just adding EBS for storage purpose, rather I cannot use that EBS. I can just quickly buy or I can rent a particular S3 bucket with that volume. So this is much more cost effective. Okay. And what are the other things? It's not only just storage purpose S3 bucket. So we can store any file. On top of that file, I can run the query. Okay. So data lake, big data analytics, those kind of stuffs I can also do on top of this S3 bucket. There we can store uh, the Parquet file there. Parquet is one kind of binary file. It's storing very low space and mainly usage of this Parquet file is for big data analytics. You can also store CSV file. And if the CSV file is having a particular schema, so I can open the Hadoop Hive tagged with that S3 bucket, and I can write or create a particular table on top of that CSV file. Okay, just like create table name, I can generate that particular table on top of the S3 bucket on that S3 buckets file. So we have that opportunity. It's not only the storage system, it's also been used for analytics purpose. Okay. So disaster recovery, it's fine. Backup and storage, it's fine. For backup and archiving thing, we can also use AWS Glacier. It's the same type of thing for S3, but it's a difference between S3 and Glacier is uh, Glacier is very, I mean, it's also less, I mean, it's cheaper than S3 bucket, and the processing speed is also low because we are archiving a thing. So while fetching the thing, it will take larger time than compared to S3 because as we are archiving the thing, we are assuming that we will not be taking this particular file frequently. So that kind of stuff is also there. Based on our requirement, we have to choose what kind of component we need to take from AWS. So we can build web application on top of S3 bucket. As I told that we can access the file in any manner, whatever I'm storing. It's also used as an integration tool. Okay. So how we can store the S3 bucket? That we can store the objects in S3 bucket just like file format, or we can put any zip file there. Any kind of file format we can put, and it works like the same. I mean, whatever we are storing the thing in Windows, just like in directory format. Okay. So this same kind of stuffs we can do over here in S3 bucket. And a particular file, there should be a key. What is the key? I mean, this is a very important concept. So the particular file is a value, and what is the key for that value? Key is the entire directory. So that a particular object should be having unique key there, because that particular file been placed in a particular directory and it should be unique only. That directory cannot be having, I mean, the same directory cannot be having for multiple objects. So we need to I mean, that key value concept is very important over here. By using this kind of stuffs, we can create the tables on top of that one, can access the Hive tables. So that's everything. And while spinning up a particular S3 server, I mean S3 bucket, we need to check the name is unique across all the regions for all the accounts. So globally unique name should be there. Just like while you are creating any Gmail account, so that name should be unique. So that S3 bucket should be also unique. And there are particular naming convention for the S3 buckets, just like cannot start with a numeric value. The starting character should also be a lowercase character, and I mean special character we cannot use while declaring a particular bucket name and all. So those kind of naming convention we need to check. It should also throw an error if I'm just creating a particular thing, a particular S3 bucket name, not having the proper convention. So we need to maintain that one. So the same thing, if we are opening any AWS console, we can type S3 and search it. I mean, if we have any running instances, it will be showing us. If we do not have, we can click on create bucket option. There we have to choose the bucket name in proper way and the particular region. Okay. Okay. Then we can just create the bucket, and the same kind of authentication is also there. I did not get suitable screenshot for the S3 bucket to spinning it up. So this is the normal with this home screen. I just get it. So I need to choose the proper S3 bucket, and in the bottom section we have create bucket option. Authentication method is the same. We can use the PPK file or PM file, or there is also actually we can have the key and the password we can also generate it at the S3 bucket. So that generalized account we can use for everything. So this is the normal way, and while uploading a file, we can open the portal or we can use S3 browser. Those kind of software we can also use. S3 browser we can use as a software to access the S3 bucket. If we are just installing the S3 browser, then we can tag the AWS account as well as the ID and password for the authentication method. That bucket should be open, and we can access the particular files we have already stored there. And if we just want to upload anything, we can quickly upload. If we want to download anything at our local, can download for them for that S3 bucket. The same thing we can do from the console itself as well. So this is the concept of S3 bucket. Till now, any doubt? Just this kind of stuffs I covered over here. Only EC2 and S3 bucket for today. From tomorrow onwards, I mean, if I'll be searching for any other components which is very much useful, I'll be going through that one. Otherwise, I can start some concept on GitHub repository. I think you are all working, or if you're going to work in any project or application, Git is one of the most important stuffs for storaging purpose. It should be for releasing your code. It's also just like it is maintaining the version thing. So this kind of stuffs I'll be covering tomorrow or day after tomorrow, and that should be the end topic. I mean, the last topic we need to cover in this particular session. Then the next session will be starting with the same thing again. With if anything, anyone wants to add it, then we can add the thing in the next session onwards. So from today's session, is there any doubt till now, Jay or anyone?
No, Soptik.
Okay. So hopefully that is fine as of now. And just if you have any credentials for EC2, just try to spin up a EC2. Then we can just try to spin it up and then quickly terminate the server. Try to spin up a free tier account, just like T2 Micro, just I told you that instance is free tier 1. So create that one and quickly terminate the same thing. Just check whether, and if you are adding any EBS volume, also terminate that EBS volume as well. Delete that EBS volume. Then you can quickly check that this is not chargeable, and you can also use that particular server for your own purpose for a quick experiment. Okay. Okay. So as of now, that's all for today's session. Let's connect tomorrow or day after tomorrow for ending of that entire season for this particular month. Okay, then thanks all. See you tomorrow.
So, Soptik. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks, Soptik.
Thanks everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.